What is up, YouTube? This is JR Juggernaut 1, and it's Thursday. You know what that means? Probably not, because I doubt any of you pay attention. It's Thursday, which means I'm posting a video since I have the time. So, what's the topic going to be for today? Well, to be honest, I thought I'd change things up a little bit from usual. Normally, I try to give you guys advice on certain, Yu-Gi-Oh related topics, whatever to the best of my abilities. Today, I kind of want your advice, though. I kind of want your opinions on something because, well, I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I'm hoping at least some people will actually give a damn. Now, I think this is also kind of a very relatable situation that other people have been in. So I kind of want to know what, you guys, what your take on it is. So let me get this out of the way quickly so I make this clear. I can't stand Pot of Duality. There, I said it. Okay, Pot of Duality is obviously an amazing card, but I can't stand it. I can't stand the fact that we have this card that practically everybody really wants or needs, and it's just so expensive. It is so hard to acquire. I mean, to acquire it, you either have to get incredibly lucky with your pulls and, with your pack openings, or spend a ton of money on it. And I guess you pretty much get why I don't have any, because I don't want to put the money in towards it. Now, I'm sure you're also wondering, you may not be wondering, but people have asked me, now, why are you not willing to just buy the Pot of Dualities? Well, there's a good reason for that. Basically, you guys might remember when Destiny Hero Malicious and Destiny Draw were very expensive cards. Destiny Hero Malicious, last year, I want to say, was worth about, $20 each, like about a year or two ago, and D-Draw was worth close to 30 each, and I had bought 3 of those for my deck and 2 Maliciouses, and I didn't spend cash on all of them, but my point was I invested a lot into these cards, and then you can imagine what happened shortly after, or a little later this time last year. I found out that D-Draw and Malicious were getting reprinted as common cards. And what made this so bad was that it basically meant that these cards were going to plummet in value. And I was really annoyed by that, because I was so annoyed to know that all the money I invested in these cards was going to go to waste. Now, that's the same problem I have with Pot of Duality. Pot of Duality is a card where if I invest a lot of money and I don't get rid of it before we find out about the reprints, I lose horribly. Absolutely horribly. And I don't want that to happen. So, I thought of another idea as a way of dealing with it. Now, I just thought, maybe I should wait until Pot of Duality gets reprinted, try to run a deck that doesn't even need it. Simple enough, right? Well, I think that's a good idea. There's just one problem with it, though. If that's the case, then that means I can't run Miracle Gemini. I could theoretically run a deck that does involve Elemental Heroes, but let's be real here. It will not be as good as Miracle Gemini at the moment. So, as painful as it is for me to say, I'm debating just running a different deck. Running a different deck that just won't force me to spend a ton of money on 1 or 2 cards. I just find it absurd. I mean, you could basically buy 2 to 3 boxes of booster boxes with the kind of money you would waste, or maybe even more than that, more like 4 booster boxes with the money you'd end up spending on 2 Pot of Dualities. I mean, I would need 2 to 3 Pot of Dualities for Miracle Gemini, and I'm just not going there. So, with that being said, I want to know if you guys agree with this kind of decision. Now, then some of you might be wondering, well, what deck am I going to run instead? Well, I have a few options in mind. Major deck, though, I'm considering right now, 2 decks, I should say, is either going to be Chaos Plants, because I was running that towards the end of last format, and I was really enjoying it. Or, number 2, a deck I just found out about, which I'm interested in trying it out at least. Chaos Doppelplants. It's basically like Chaos Plants, except you're running Doppel Warriors, instead of like Caius's, basically. There's a lot of similarities in the card choices. You're just, oh yeah, and you're also running Junk Synchron. Can't forget about that. It's a different deck, but it's also a very fun deck, and it's a deck that is going to get better in the future because, in spite of the fact that Dandelion's only at 1, the deck really thrives off of 3 cards that are going to be coming out in the near future. First one is obvious, Tech Genius Hyper Librarian. The card is just ridiculous. I don't know when it's actually coming out. If anyone does know that, please post that in the comments, please. I really want to know that. It's a card I'm going to discuss in a Cards of the Future episode. So expect that soon. Who knows? Maybe it'll be right after this video. Huh? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Nudge, 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 nudge. But it's just going to be a very good card since well, you guys can look it up. It's ridiculous. The second card is Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I think it is, yeah. Trishula is the level 9 synchro that was basically limited in the OCG because of how absurd it was with Infernities. And some other deck that could bring it out like 5 times in one turn. I really don't know. But Infernities basically could abuse the hell out of it. TCG had Infernity Barrier, which just meant that, it stopped your opponent from getting big plays. Trishula, on the other hand, spamming it on the field just made sure that your opponent was less and less likely able to come back from from the situation they were in. Which, yeah, it just destroys them. But it's a very good card. The reason, though, it's effective here is because there's ways of getting it out instantly with Debris Dragon. So it definitely makes players more interested in running it. But I think another card that people don't realize is going to be good for this deck is definitely going to be Tech Genius Hailbird Cannon. This is that level 12 synchro that requires a synchro tuner and 2 synchro monsters. Hard to get out, but it is very, very good if you get it out in the right situation. The card is basically, it negates summons, and it also allows you to take a Tech Genius synchro monster from your grave. Obviously, you would take Hyper Librarian with its effect, but it is very good if you get out. It's a 4,000 attack beater. It is very good. And I forgot there's a fourth one. Shooting Quasar Dragon, though, for the love of me, I really don't know when we're actually going to get that. But it was actually confirmed as an actual card. It's basically, you get it out the same way you would with Tech Genius Hailbird Cannon by using a synchro tuner and 2 or more synchro monsters. Very crazy card. It can attack multiple times for depending on the number of depending on the number of synchro material monsters you used, and once per turn it can negate a spell, trap, or monster effect. It's really, really good. And on top of that, when it's removed from the field, you get a Shooting Star Dragon from your deck. I'm not going to lie here. Quite frankly, I think this might be my favorite. This could become my new favorite card. As I said, my favorite card currently of all time is Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, because it had the ability to just lock down your opponent to the point where they just couldn't really do anything. I know, there were ways of getting around it, but I just love the fact that against certain decks, there was nothing they could do. And I had so much fun running that deck. Even though it never really went that far for me, still a good deck. What else, though? Oh, yeah, so it's just a fun deck. I'm thinking about trying it out because I want to see how good it actually is. I actually have essentially all the cards at home, but oh right, that's what I also want to talk about. I'm gonna try and get some footage from my locals when I come home in 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'm basically just coming home for holiday break that my school has. Odd timing, but yeah. And I'm gonna go to locals at least a few times in spite of the fact I have work to do, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely want to try this deck out. And then it's basically like I come back, a few weeks of finals and stuff, then I come back for 2 weeks, and then I'm actually going abroad for 6 weeks in the Netherlands. So whether or not videos will continue after that point is unknown. I would say probably not, but I'm still going to be kept up with what's happening for those 6 weeks. I am going to get back right before Nationals, though, and so far it looks like I'm going to be going because I have a friend who's hopefully going to give me a ride. Looks like it. We still have to talk more about it, but it looks like that's going to happen. But it's sounding very exciting. I'm probably going to just try and do last chance qualifiers just to get in. But more importantly, I'm gonna love the opportunity to meet some people, including Vexicus4666. I really, really want to meet him in person for once, just because we've been talking a lot. It's been a lot of fun, and I mean, I don't know. He just has so much fun at these events. I'm sure I would have just as much fun, if not more. But yeah, so I want to tell me, guys, what you think about all this. Sorry this went on a little longer than it should have, but I really just wanted to get everything off my chest about this. And I really got to start saying the word Just please tell me what you guys think. I will I'll tell you guys what I end up doing later on, regarding what deck I choose. We'll see what happens, but hopefully this will just work out for me, guys, because I hate this situation, just because I just really don't like that. I want to run a deck that runs a card I really don't want to go after. So, oh well, shit happens, I suppose. Well, this is Jared Juggernaut 1 signing out. Peace, guys.